Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 2-hour time frame, because of course today we saw a massive dump to the downside. In fact, on this 1-hour time frame, we saw 13 consecutive red candles, which is a brutal dump on the lower time frames. Either way, we hit the price target, started reversing from there after reaching this overbought territory on the 2-hour as well as the 1-hour RSI. Interestingly though, yesterday I was pointing out that we were in overbought conditions, but now recently, earlier today, we were actually in oversold conditions at that point. So the same principle applies here, although right now it is in reverse. In the case that you didn't watch yesterday's video, I will just quickly recap it here. Basically, when the RSI is in oversold territory like this, it means that there is limited room to the downside. So typically you will see some kind of a reversal in this RSI in order to reset it to around this 50 level here. Sometimes if it is a particularly brutal dump, you will see it just reset a little bit and then continue into oversold territory, but very, very likely you are going to reset to the 50 level at some point. And right now it looks like it is already well on its way to resetting here. Unfortunately, I could not get this video out earlier, so my apologies for that, but that is my outlook. In the case that you are not familiar with how this RSI actually works, the way it can reset to around this 50 level is either by the price just trading sideways or potentially seeing some short-term bullish momentum, in which case it will reset to the upside more quickly. And even if you draw a trend line like this, you can see that we are currently breaking this downtrend. So theoretically, we could see a bit of a move to the upside in order to retrace some of this move. For example, right now we are trading below this 0.236 Fibonacci level, around this 104.6K level. Most importantly, if we are talking about a bigger move to the upside, we need to break above this Fibonacci golden pocket, sitting at around 106.7K, all the way up to 106.9K. Only then, once we start breaking this, I will even consider looking at bigger moves to the upside from there, because right now, guys, we are simply making lower lows and lower highs on the Bitcoin price. So yeah, even if we end up doing something like this and then rejecting from this Fibonacci golden pocket, that would still just be considered a lower high below this 0.786 Fibonacci level. So roughly this 107.7K level. That is in fact the level to break for us to consider another move to the upside. Overall, on this 2-hour time frame, you can see that we have a decently long-term trend line for this low time frame. Of course, keep that in mind, that we just rejected from in this last candle. So for now, this level here sitting at about 105.2K is acting as a level of resistance. In the case we end up breaking this, then just look towards those Fibonacci levels that I showed you on the 1-hour time frame for some further resistance. Besides that, on this 4-hour time frame, we are currently holding above this ascending trend line in the Bitcoin price. Most importantly though, I am looking at this 103.1K level, which is again another Fibonacci level, but simply a little bit more long term. You can see that this is a very important level of support in recent price action for Bitcoin. So if we start breaking down below this, it is starting to look seriously bearish for Bitcoin. For example, we could definitely expect a move to around 101.5K. That is, of course, not financial advice, but I'm simply telling you what I'm seeing in the charts, and you can do with that information what you like. Apart from that, we can also take a look at this 1-day time frame. More broadly speaking, in terms of support and resistance for Bitcoin, right now, even though we have seen quite a few wicks below, we haven't seen a daily candle close below 105K. So right now, we are technically still holding inside this big level of support from 107 all the way down to 105K, although of course there's also this big level of support below, sitting from 103 all the way down to 101.5K. Besides that, we also have this ascending trend line in the Bitcoin price. Currently that is sitting at around 103.2K. Next, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, first of all on this 3-day time frame. In the case that you're not familiar with this chart, typically the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there are the biggest pockets of liquidity, so where there are the most yellow pockets. For example, we took out a big pocket of liquidity here earlier today, sitting at around 104.3K. But as you can see, a lot of liquidity piled up around this 103.2K level on this recent low here. So a lot of leverage is entering into this market because people are longing this extreme oversold condition. Besides that, if we're talking about liquidity to the upside, we have some at 105.5K and even 106.6K as well. On the 2-week time frame, we just took out a big pocket of liquidity once again, 104K roughly speaking, but now a lot of new liquidity just showed up on this recent low, again pointing towards a lot of people longing this recent bottom here. And actually, that reminds me, because some people are apparently questioning if I even trade, which is kind of crazy because I literally share my trades inside the Discord community, which you can join completely for free. But for example, all of this is from today, longing that recent bottom from deep oversold conditions. Here I was shorting Bitcoin. Here's another short from last night. Apparently, some people are not aware that I have a Discord community, so I just thought I would take the opportunity to kind of promote the server in the case that you guys want to join. Like I said, the link is in the video description. Lastly, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables. Yesterday, we saw another massive inflow into the Bitcoin ETFs. So for now, the Bitcoin ETFs are having an upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. So this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again. Don't forget to check out the Discord server in the case that you are interested. There's people talking about crypto and trading Bitcoin and any other crypto really every single day inside the community here. So obviously it is a very active server. And like I said, you can join that completely for free. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested. But regardless, if you do end up joining the community or not, thank you for watching once again. And I will see you tomorrow in the next one.